Welcome back, peeps. This is Ice. And welcome to my second MINECRAFT.NET video and my first MINECRAFT.NET map making tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create, or at least imitate, the effects of heart containers in vanilla Minecraft with command blocks. Now inside here, we see the circuitry that was used to make that clip possible. It looks complicated, but it's really not as complicated as maybe it seems. Now, anything to do back here was just nothing important. This chest had a head in it that was renamed to heart container. Nothing too complex there. The first step is this comparator clock, which will constantly send pulses to this command block. Now, this will clear the player of any heads in their inventory. Unfortunately, this also includes creeper heads or zombie heads, but one can easily work around that by, say, renaming a type of or retexturing a different type of mushroom, or something like that. Now the next thing that will happen, if it finds that there was ever a heart container, or whatever item is set to be a heart container in the player's inventory, the first thing it will do is say, "You got a heart container," in the style of Zelda. You could also have this play a little Zelda tune using the play sound command if you really wanted to. Next, over here, is something we'll talk about towards the end. Now this goes into the kind of the complicated looking part. What this basically is a repeater lock counter. And as complex as that sounds, it's actually very simple. Whenever this torch pulses, it will turn off all these repeaters, allowing the signal to go into the next wire. So for instance, the first time a pulse is sent through this torch, then this wire will be activated. Now when any of these wires are activated, the first thing that will happen is it will activate one of these command blocks here, down at the bottom. Now these all say the same thing, effect at P2100. Now 21 is the health boost effect. And if you don't know what health boost does, it's a new feature added in 1.6. It's a potion effect that basically allows you to increase the amount of max health a player has. So this will get rid of any of those current effects on the player. The next thing that will happen is, first of all, we're going to look at this first one. So if we had one heart container, then this command block here would be activated, and it would say effect at P219999. Now what this is going to do is it's going to give the nearest player effect 21, which stands for health boost, for 9,999 seconds. Now this basically means as infinite as you can get with command blocks. Then it will give them ID or strength 0. Now strength 0 is of course equivalent to health boost 1. So you'll now have health boost 1, which will give you 2 extra hearts. Now, it doesn't emulate Zelda heart containers that well, mainly because of the fact that it gives you 2 hearts rather than 1. So, you'll now have 2 extra hearts. Now, if you were to find another heart container, then this counter would activate again and go into this. Now, the first thing that would happen is this command block here would be activated. Effect at P2100, getting rid of any existing health boost effects. Then it will give them health boost 1, or rather health boost 2, just it says 1 because you have to subtract. So, the only problem with this is that health boost will automatically set your health to the default full health, in other words, 10 normal hearts. So, that's what this command block here is for. This entire circuitry takes under 4 ticks, so after 4 ticks, this command block will activate, which will basically give the player instant health, which is effect 6 for 1 second, because of course it's instant, and 200, meaning that it will heal 400 hearts. Now this heart container setup is only allowed to go to up to 5, so you can only stack 5 heart containers throughout your whole experience. Then, if you attempt to get a 6th, it will simply say you were already at max hearts, and stop there. So that's simple enough. And if you wanted to expand it, you could just add more of these little modules. Now, I guess it's time for me to explain the cool things and the limitations about this design. First of all, if you want to make a ton of heart containers and this wire doesn't reach, then you can just add a repeater. It makes no difference. You can just add a repeater here in between them. You can't add one here, but you can add one later on, like that. Just thought I'd mention that. Now, there are a few other things about this design. First of all, the command blocks aren't too complex, but of course it's not survival friendly or anything. It is very good for Zelda-style maps, though, especially since the concept of heart containers in general kind of comes from Zelda. There is one other problem with this. In fact, is there? Yeah, of course. There isn't infinite heart containers. It doesn't support pieces of heart. If you don't know what pieces of heart are, then I don't know where you've been living throughout the Zelda franchise, but yeah, it doesn't support pieces of heart, although you could probably add that if you really wanted to. It doesn't work in multiplayer. But then again, all Zelda gameplay modes in which they're multiplayer usually don't have heart containers, so I honestly kind of think of that as a feature as much as a bug. What else? There isn't really that much else. This is pretty much the whole system, and that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the concept. I hope you'll be able to use it in all your maps. And yeah, all I have to say now is, of course, bye now.